Hello, everyone, and welcome to this week's exposition, the continuation of No New Dress November with Ems, aka Elder, whatever her name is again. But yeah, looking forward to this one. It's always good to do No New Dress November and bring back people we've not chatted to for a long time, just to catch up with them, see how they're doing, and all that good jazz. So we hope that you will have lots of questions for Em. She is uh, quite the vocalist for Women in Warhammer. She does a lot of mental health stuff. She's a really good advocate for the hobby. Likes to organise and showcase a lot of different things as well. Alright, Mojo Modelling, Jamie Paints, SGW Design Group, and Warpaint. Thanks for joining us tonight. Hope you are all well, gents. Hope you are all keeping well, being safe, and keeping warm. Except for you, Workgate Studios. Stay away from the swamps. Don't get eaten by gators, and don't go try and rescuing any wee dogs that you've got that go in and try and play with a swamp puppy. And remember, those boas, those Burmese pythons are not good. Get rid of them. So what we're all working on for November, I am back on the Death Guard. I want to try and have my entire army with the same paint scheme. So I got a couple of Death Guards. Was going to strip them all down, but my dog Isa, the youngest of the brood, decided to chow down on 3 of them, and because they're going to get regenerated. Terminators army, as in Terminators, Arnold Schwarzenegger Terminators, or Terminators as in blueberries. How you doing, Em?
Hello, I'm not too bad, thank you. How are you?
Yeah, I'm good, man. I'm good. It's good to have you on this evening. Thanks very much for giving up your Wednesday. I
That's
know
all right.
that
I always
I
give
know
my
that you like to
Wednesday.
do. I know that you try and teach dogs jiu-jitsu. Go with one of your profile pictures I put up. So thanks for giving up your dog jitsu night. What are you doing? Eyes up, Bella. So folks that don't know, Emma, do you want to just give yourself a wee brief introduction for the folk that don't know you?
Yes, so I'm Em. You can find me at eldarexarch M or Sisters of Elder. I'm a female hobbyist, unsurprisingly, so I'm sure you can tell. And I mostly play 40k, don't really like painting, and do a lot of Women in Warhammer crap. So, yeah.
So I'm just going to ask you the briefest of questions. 'Cause I know we asked this when you and Lucy were both on, but what was it that got you into Warhammer, and how old were you?
So I was 13 when I first started playing Warhammer, and I had an operation on my back that unfortunately went wrong, and ended up in a wheelchair for quite a long time.
Oh, sorry
So,
to hear that.
well, it was a long time ago, but I appreciate that. And yeah, the only thing I could really do was hobbies that you sit down for. My brother had just started playing 40k, and the Chancellor Games Workshop, when they heard like about me, gifted me like an Elder starter set, which was very sweet
Oh,
of them.
cool.
So yeah, that's how I got into it, and I've sort of on and off played Warhammer for the best part of 18 years now. So
That's
yeah.
that's giving away your age. You never ask a lady your age, but I'm not seeing any ladies here. But so, like, with a lot of people, did you give up Warhammer when you got to like the drinking and men stage? Or not that
Yeah.
I was into men, but you never know. Every Sunday, every hole's a goal. But did you get into the? Did you fall away from it? And what age were you when you came back to it?
About 18. So went to uni, and there just wasn't really a Warhammer scene at uni. So fell away from it then, and then came back to it 2 and a bit years ago, I'd say. So yeah, it
And
was.
are you enjoying your time back? Like,
Yes,
are you enjoying your time back?
yes, I am very much so. Yeah, it's been a journey. The game has changed a lot since I played, like a hell of a lot. So it's nice to almost rediscover it, and like there's so many factions in it now that weren't around when I played it last time, because I had a 13 or 14-year break from the game, and obviously Games Workshop developed a lot more factions and a lot more other stuff in that time. So yeah, like Inari weren't a thing in Elder, and obviously that's my army. So I came back and I was like, the fuck is this? The hell is going on? So yeah, that was fun. What else? I feel like Leagues of Votan was relatively new as well
Yeah.
when I came back. So yeah, again, just like, what the hell is this? What on earth is going on? So the fact that there's like no longer a psychic phase and stuff, which for an elder army is used to be pretty prevalent. So
Yeah, you never know. They might bring it back for 11th edition. But I must say, Casey, are you feeling okay? Did
Why?
you, because you're like 5 minutes early.
Well, I was
compared
five
to
minutes
normal,
late. I was 5 minutes late.
No, mate, you're late is when you get to like 22, not 25. So that's early for you. Have you and Sarah fell out? Have you got
No,
divorced
she's
now?
out for the evening, so I was.
Ah, there it goes.
Yeah, no, but I was having a sort of gobshite on my own, and he's a gobshite. So
Like father, like son.
no. He does not take after me at all.
yeah,
Does
So
not.
all
remember,
right.
folks, we need to stay hydrated like M is doing. Obviously, wine includes part of your 5 a day because it's made of grapes as well. So she's hitting two things with one stone.
Where's the Dr Pepper? I'm not having this. You can't come on our stream drinking wine.
Well, she
I
was, but I told her that she wasn't allowed to drink Dr. Pepper.
I had 5.5 litres of Dr Pepper on Saturday and Sunday, and
We
then I've
numbered.
had
Let's put the
about
numbers
I've
up.
had about a litre today as well. So I'm already caffeinated up to my eyeballs. So
You must have the resting heart rate of Jimmy Savile in a BBC changing room.
I need to acquire a shiny tracksuit in order to fully transition into
I
that.
must
But
Yeah,
say,
you
my,
walk into your local shop, you look at the fridge, and you start shouting now then when you see the different varieties of Dr Pepper on offer.
yeah,
Yeah.
exactly,
I
exactly.
must
And
say, before my wife comes back, right, my wife, she's got a new job with the mental health services in Ireland, and she forgot that she was doing badminton today, so she had to nip to Dunn's to get some tracksuit bottoms, and I've taken a picture of her. She looks as though she's away to hunt elk, and I waited until she got in the car and put a picture of her in a new tracksuit, because she thinks it's class. I think instantly I was thinking that she's away to start stalking people, so put it in the family chat, and I get a message saying, that's not funny. I fucking think it's hilarious, and I will be posting it in my story.
See,
I'm
I'm
surprised your wife hasn't left you yet, to be honest,
Listen,
knowing the stuff
she
that you
doesn't know
put
how
up.
to. I can see a picture. She's not in the house right now. She doesn't know how to use the cooker. She doesn't know how to use the washing machine. And who else is going to make her breakfast for her? You know what I mean?
See,
And
you've created a niche for yourself there, Dunk. You've forced yourself to be useful, and that's entrapment in a way.
I'm going to say the most disgusting thing I've said in stream yet. It's not going to lick itself.
Welcome to Wednesdays. Fuck's sake. Right.
You had to do that just as I'd taken a sip of wine as well.
He was
That's because I wanted.
timing it and watching it. That's what he does.
I could say something else about spitting and swallowing, but I'm not going to do that because I'm not that sort of guy.
Well, you
Okay,
just did. You just did. So there you go.
but I
I'm
didn't.
so
I alluded
glad
to it.
that
I
when
alluded.
you asked me to audit one another, I did say you were a dodgy man, so
I
that's
think
worked out
that's
quite well.
you just bringing that up. I think that's a fair comment to come on to,
Yeah.
and we'll get a little bit serious for a moment. Obviously, your Women in Warhammer series has been amazing. Let's not beat about the bush. You know, you've done a lot of hard work there. You've got loads of different women in wargaming involved in it. But I think, recent events has sort of been a bit eye-opening to us in that, you know, there are the horror stories out there in the community. What sort of, you know, I'll be honest, it's been a little while since I watched one, but there's got to be so many common horror stories of just gobshites out there
Yeah.
that, you know, all over, you know, we can bond on plastic toys, but then it feels like it's almost a God-given right that that's a way to get into talking to someone and being a bit over the top friendly, shall we say.
Yeah, and I mean, you just have to look at some of the larger female Instagram accounts. So let's take Alex, for example. She's a prime example. Like every day, the levels of abuse on her Instagram are not okay. So that's AGM Nerdcore, and some of the comments, like she always calls them out. Like more power to her for doing that. And I think it's the right thing, like completely the right thing to call stuff out like that. But the amount of women that sit there, and I mean, I've had people find my personal Instagram, and that's not an invite for people to do that and try and get access to me that way, and it's uncomfortable, and it's not okay. It's a step above what is okay. I don't know these people. They're sending messages to a place where I share my husband and my private life that I don't share publicly, and there's a reason I don't share that publicly. So yeah, it's not nice. But
I just want to
I'd say like 96% of the community are amazing though. So yeah.
But I just want to say thanks to you for saying yeah to being our auditor, like, because it was never something that we had an issue with up until one of our long-time followers and viewers actually told us about a guest, and then me and Casey had a discussion like, right, we actually, because we've been going for so long, right, I'm actually surprised that it took so long for something to be flagged to us, to be honest. Do you know what I mean? And I think we're pretty open guys, and when somebody said to us, like, this person needs looked at, I reached out to a few other women, because you can't always take what somebody says as verbatim as well. So you have to reach out to other people and other females and ask about their experience with an individual. And that's why we cancelled it. And then me and Casey were discussing, like, we need to have somebody that we know and we can trust, who has many fingers in many different pies, pardon the pun, who knows a lot of people in Warhammer. And it was a no-brainer on who we would go to. It was either you or Tiz or any of the females that we've had on. But because you've got such, you're so out there, and you do your women in Warhammer, it was a kind of no-brainer for us. And that's not disrespecting Tiz or anybody else, but we instantly thought of you. So thanks very much for coming aboard the Inquisition train.
It really is, because, you know, I think it's very, obviously, it's always the thing. It's a very male-dominated, oriented hobby space. You look at, I the other day, out of boredom, took View Insight on a reel that I put the other day, and it came up with a statistic that 92% of the viewers of it were male. And that blew my mind.
Amazing statistic, though, that 8% of them are female, quite frankly.
Yeah.
Like my following is about 25% women, which is really high for a Warhammer account. So yeah.
It is amazing that, I mean, obviously it's, you know, that I think that is always going to be the case, that it's always more male skewed. But it just astounded me that it's not something that I think me and Dunk have ever really considered or thought about. And is that our male privilege showing a little bit? That's a strange thing to say out loud, but is it just maybe that it's not, like you say, it's not something we've ever had to really worry or think about? You know, people come and go to us, they dabble with us, they come on and stream, and great. But it was a little bit worrying when that one thing was said, and it was like, we can't be giving these people a voice.
Yeah, I think, like, the reason that Lucy and I started Sisters of Elder was because when I came back into the hobby, the first thing I did was look on Instagram for women in Warhammer, and it came up with like Alex and Kerry, so AGM Nerdcore and Kerry Be Hobbying, who are obviously two massive accounts. But then as I started following more and more Warhammer accounts, the algorithm realised that I wanted to follow women, so it gave me more of a skew. But it took, I'd say, like a good 5 months for the algorithm to catch up and say, oh, you know, she wants female Warhammer people. And like, the reason we started Sisters of Elder was, one, to show off our hobby to our friends and family, but two, as it evolved, was just to like promote other female accounts and give them more of a platform.
Yeah.
and to create that like safe female space in our community. Now, I'm not saying I always get it right. I don't. 100% don't always get it right. And it's been hard to, like, people always talk to me about like, oh, you know, it sounds so wanky, but like, oh, you're the voice of women in our hobby. And I'm like, I'm really not. There's so many female voices out there. I just put them in one place, and it kind of makes me a little bit uncomfortable to be branded as that, because our female hobbyists are so diverse. You know, we have a trans population of female hobbyists. We have a portion of people who are non-binary as well. You have cis women, you have women who are from the LGBTQ plus community, and trying to put them in a one category fits all is very difficult, and not right fundamentally. So that's why we tried to showcase as many people as we can. But as I said, I don't always get it right, and I'm always open to people having that conversation with me, because there might be things that I term that are wrong, there might be things that I say that are wrong, and it's been a huge learning curve for me to try and conglomerate as many people as I can. And obviously I've started that Women in Wargaming series today, and that's also been really eye-opening, because I talk to players and game developers. I've got a voice actress on there from Rogue Trader, you know, I've got people who've won painting awards, I've got people who've got micro accounts and massive accounts, and it's just nice to give all of those women an equal platform and be like, here you are. So yeah.
But I think as well, it's like women are a minority, but then within that minority, there's minorities. So it seems as though like it always seems to go where women are. There's the minorities, and I don't mean this in a wanky or derogatory way. It always seems that the women always seem to be the safe space for the other minorities, whereas like I'm well open to anybody. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, I love all people. Like, if you're fucking trans, as long as you're not a dick, do you know what I mean? As long as you're not a dick, then I'm sound with you. Do you know what I mean? But I think what I was going to ask you, because I'm rambling here now, was, have you had experience with a lot of women leaving Instagram and Warhammer because of the abuse that they've got, or are they just kind of hiding themselves in? And how do you kind of like try and support them so they don't leave the hobby?
I think it's reminding them that other people have similar experiences to them, and that doesn't make it right, but it means like there's a pile of other people who can empathize with your situation and give you advice on it, and to create that network that's broader than a one-minded person that's constantly being like derogatory or pulling you down. And it is a case of just, you know, sometimes reminding yourself that people are assholes and have nothing better to do with their lives than to troll. And you're an easy target because you are a minority in the community. Like, I mean, as you guys will know, I've done reels on like some of the stuff that's been said to me, and thankfully, I think most people realise that my page and my content is not really suitable to be trolled. So yeah, it was quite funny when we did the like wrap up stuff of the women's team at the Kent teams event, which was really, really good. We had a really good time, the five of us. But just watching my followership fluctuate like this, I was like, within the space of 24 hours, I was like, you know, the people that have unfollowed me are clearly not in the right place for the right reasons to begin with. So yeah, which is fine. They might also be fed up of me banging on about it. So yeah.
Yeah, you did bang on about that weekend quite a bit. Like, I'm not gonna lie, I tried to keep up with your stories, and at one point I just had to put my phone away for a bit, and a couple of hours later I look and I was like, what's going on now? So let's try and be a bit more light-hearted after this serious bit though. How was the weekend? Because that did look quality.
It was really good. So there were 150 people there, 5 women, 145 guys. And like the level of competition there was incredible. It was just insane. And like I got 19 wand. So I don't know if you know how teams works, but basically depending on how much you win or lose by, there's 20 points up for grabs. So if it's a draw, it's a 10-10. If you lose completely, it's a 20-0. So I got two 19 ones. So I got 1 point. They got 19 points. I got two 9-11s. So not the Twin Towers, but you know, I got 9
I
points.
didn't want
They
to
got
say
11
anything.
points. And then I got 1 10-10. But like the rest of my team did so well. I mean, like Kenda, who's only been playing for 6 weeks, she won one of her games at a really highly competitive tournament. So, you know, it can go whatever way. And the way that Jess, who was my co-captain, paired us was to sort of play into our strengths and stuff. So you're always going to have someone that pairs into the crap lists. And I think that was sort of me. And then everyone else, we kind of tried to give them a bit of an opportunity to go and do what they did best. So on the second day, I had a better run of games because I had like better lists to pair into. But yeah.
So we do have a question, and it was actually sent privately in the other question bit. So it was from Mojo Modeling. What was your favourite gaming moment when you were at Kent?
Fuegan and his squad of 10 fire dragons split fire into a Death Guard, Demon Prince, and one of those like you know the like little helicopter things that Death Guard have.
Blow drones.
That's it, yeah. Split fire into both of them.
Helicopter things.
At half range. So obviously had like Melter 6 and wiped both of them out on full wounds in 1 turn. And then
Much sounds like every game of Warhammer.
Yeah, hopped back into the Wave Serpent afterwards.
Standard. You pop out, you blow something up, you think, oh shit, protect the squad, get back into wherever they come out of.
Exactly. So I felt really bad for the bloke and bought him a drink afterwards. And he was a really, really good competitor and really good about it. But yeah, but also like just being with the girls, like it was just a completely different vibe. You know, it was nice to be in an all women's team and just to like go into the women's toilets and chat shit for 15 minutes after each game, you know, and debrief and then come back out.
And
I must have felt like you got your own little post-game change room. You're like, right, convene in the looms, let's talk strategy. Whereas everyone else was just sort of standing there like, we can't do that, that's bullshit.
But the funny thing was because it was in the sports centre of the University of Kent, there was still a fucking queue for the women's toilets. There were 2 cubicles. There were 5 of us there and all the women who were coming to the gym. So there was still a queue for the women's toilets at a Warhammer event. So.
2 seconds.
No,
So, excuse me there. Yeah, toilet talk does not go down very well. It was, you say, in the university, okay, Canterbury, isn't it?
Yeah, University of Kent, yeah. Really good venue.
Bloody love Canterbury. It's one of my favourite places in the world because it's just such
I've never actually like been into the city except from the Sunday night when Kenda's car broke down and we had to wait for the AA to turn up. It's gorgeous. We've decided if we do the teams event again, we're going to extend it to a 3-dayer and all take like the Monday or Friday off and go and do the museums and the cathedral and stuff like that.
Even just, I have mates who went university down there, so I would often go down, see them, and end up getting pissed off. So, but again, that was nearly 20 years ago. So, yeah, there you go.
Okay, Grandad.
Yeah, it feels, well, I ain't going completely great yet, but it is a lovely place. Do go back and actually have a look at it properly. It is.
So we do have another question from Lore Lodge. Thanks for joining, mate. Really appreciate it. Why do you think Games Workshop have not added Karandas in the new codex?
Ooh. So those who don't know who Karandras is, he's the striking scorpion Phoenix Lord. I Yeah, he's not appeared. Obviously, the rest of the Phoenix Lords have, and they've obviously put Lycus in as well. So she's the new Phoenix Lord for the Warp Spiders, female character. I think Karandras is going to pop out the Warp with the who's the Primarch that's currently in the Warp? Is he the White Scars one?
Yes. Bloody, what's his name? Can't think of it now. Jagati Khan. That's it.
Yeah, that's it, Khan. I think he's going to pop out at the same time, the pair of them.
Like super best friends.
Yeah, or fighting one another. I think they're going to link them up somehow because they're obviously diversifying their model base, aren't they? So I think they're going to look at doing proper White Scars in 11th. So I think they're going to wait till the end of 10th, early 11th to make them pop back in.
Do you think that there will be, obviously, you put in your story that, like, with the female team that you had, have you had many people DMing you about maybe joining your female team?
Yeah, I think the point of the event was to show that you can be a beginner and still enjoy something like a teams event, because competitive wargaming obviously gets this rap for being sweaty and then physically sweaty as well. So, you know, for women who prefer to like have a chat and mess about and aren't as self-confident in their gaming capabilities, like, I know I keep saying about it, but just look at Kenda. She's only been playing for 6 weeks, and the fact that she was brave enough to come. I mean, in fairness, she was volunteered by Jade after they'd had several espresso martinis. And then Jade played and decided that she didn't like 40k, which is completely fine by me, you know, completely fine. Painting is more her vibe. That's the beauty of our hobby. It's so broad. But Kenda enjoyed it, and still, like, before she'd come, she played 7 games of 40k and then walked into a competitive tournament where the Italian team were playing. The Italian 40k team had come to play at Teams, at Kent Teams event. So, you know, you've gone from someone that's just beginning to people who have been playing for decades and are the top of their tier. And the fact that we placed 16th out of 32 is testament to the girls. So
that is really good. Yeah.
Just think, if you never get beat 19-1, you could have finished higher. So really, it's your fault you finished 16th.
Team captain. Yeah, well done. Lead from example. Yeah.
Yeah, thank God I had Jess as my co-captain, because she absolutely smashed everyone with her Drakari. So, mind you, I think Jess is something like the 8th best Drakari player in the UK. So, and she did all of our pairings, and she did an amazing job. And obviously, like, Ruby and Liz also being part of a competitive team. I mean, neither of them have got loads of competitive experience, but they really like put the work in, the pair of them, and grinded in those games, and neither of them really yielded. So credit to all the girls other than me being the weak link. So yeah, maybe for the next female teams event we shouldn't have me there. I think that's the moral of the story. So
I think this is interesting, where you're saying you mate there had only 6 weeks of gaming, right? I am personally very anti-competitive. I know Dunk's taking his baby steps into doing some tournaments and some competitive gaming. But I think my problem is I just don't play enough. What would you recommend for someone who is taking their first baby steps regardless? Just, you know what? Fuck it. Go do it. Figure it out for yourself. And because if you don't take the plunge, a lot of these events are competitive. You're not going to really find a space.
yeah, I mean, there's a few things I'd want to touch on there. So, I mean, the range at the teams event was people who had never played like a competitive event before. So we played a couple of 5-man teams who had never been to competitive events before, so they were like complete newbies to that scene as well, which is fine. You had mixed ones like us, so like myself, Jess, and Liz, who have been on the circuit for a while, Ruby, who this was the first time she's done competitive, but she's obviously played a lot of casual games, and then Kenda, who's a complete newbie. And then you had the like uber competitive teams who all placed like top 10 with very minimal difference between them. But the thing that I actually enjoy most, because I obviously love playing Warhammer, I love the strategy behind it. I love the fact that it just switches my brain off for 3 and a bit hours. Like, I can have a drink with my friends, stuff like that. I prefer narrative play where you're building upon a storyline. So, like the UK Grand Narrative, for example, that's an incredible event. Anytime anyone's running a narrative, I'm like, oh, okay, can I get to that? Because you're building upon a story across a vast galaxy where there's endless possibilities, and you tap into various bits of lore. So, like the 2 last Grand Narratives. So this year had a really strong Eldari presence because it was Harlequins trying to protect an old elder city. That was the basis of it, and Thousand Sons trying to take advantage of the webway. So obviously I absolutely creamed myself with excitement over all of that. So, but last year it was very much like a Imperium focus of trying to protect a city against the scourges of Nurgle and stuff like that. So you can really just build upon it with the narrative and build into the lore what's going on. So that would be my personal recommendation, is just to look at a few narrative events before going into competitive, because they're far more enjoyable in my opinion. I'm sure other people will disagree with me, but yeah.
Yeah, I would disagree. I would just go straight in, no kissing, just get in about it. Like, I played a tournament 2 weeks ago with the Donegal Dice Wingers and the Letterkenny Gaming Guild. I think they changed their name actually. And now I've signed up for another tournament, a 2-day tournament in Ballyclare in February. So I'm actually starting to look at, because I was actually thinking of starting a new project, but I want all my army to be looking the same if they survive my dog. So I'm actually I'm going to start repainting all my old scheme if they don't get eaten by Isa, the wee bastard. But I would definitely recommend it, because
She's cute.
Huh?
No, she's cute.
Oh, she is cute. That's why she hasn't been sold to the local Chinese for their specials this weekend.
Oh man, fucking hell.
Other takeaways are an option as well. Don't worry, I've got all three dogs are well looked after. We do have a couple of questions in chat. Graham, I'm not even ask your question because she's drinking wine. That's why she's involved with us tonight.
I'm scrolling back trying to catch up on chat because I've been so bad.
Three Spires Gaming Group. Three Spires has asked, are you looking forward to the 11th edition coming out next year? And if what would you change for the 11th?
Psychic phase coming back. That would be my big one. What else would I change?
Bring back armor values.
Sorry?
Bring back armor values on tanks.
I miss, actually, when you used to blow up a tank, you used to be able to leave it on the field and it would then become terrain. I love that concept. I think they should bring that back as well.
That was always fun. Now you'd have to roll your scatter dice to see which way it flew as well, if it was a good enough roll.
The blast templates on the Dark Reapers, flipping them over. That was good.
I'm being a proper old cunt now. Fucking hell.
Yeah.
I thought you were going to say you were getting hard or something there. You know what?
No, I'm being a old cunt.
My mind's in the gutter tonight. Sorry, folks.
It is, and it regularly happens, though. So yeah, there you go. See that?
Some great people in tonight. Jesus, I'm looking at all the hellos. This is great.
You're getting a lot of love. Like, it is always nice when we have a guest that gets a lot of love on, because it just means that people in the chat interact. And I'm not saying that you guys don't interact when we don't have a guest on that you guys don't really know a lot about, but
I've got a question for you in relation to your Eldar, because you're a big Eldar player. So I'm stealing this straight from Vanguard Tactics, which is not the stripper one, is it?
No, Vanguard is Tabletop Tactics is the other one you pick.
Yeah. No, so I'm stealing this.
Vanguard's the stripper, Tabletop Tactics is
the YouTube. This Tabletop Tactics then, right?
Yeah.
So if you can
get your shirt off as Vanguard. If you always think of it, they've got a V in their name, so if you turn a V upside down, it's a pyramid, or if you leave it as it is, it's a reverse funnel system.
Yeah, that's a great episode always for me. So my question is, In the
Hey, see, I
Eldari,
think you've pulled. I think you've pulled, mate.
Ryan loves me. You just can't have me.
Yeah.
Sorry, mate.
he's on. Ryan's been on the glue. That's what it is. If you could get
Oh
rid
my
of
God.
one,
He's
if you could
Scottish.
if you could get rid of one Eldar unit and replace it with another Eldar unit, what would it be and why?
Okay. Oh, this is hard. So obviously, I miss my Lynx. I miss her so much. She's been legended. So she's a big tank with a big gun on the front, and I used to play her all the time. You also had the Shadow Spectres, who are really cool. They used to nip through the warp a little bit like warp spiders.
Mm.
What would I take out? See, this is quite contentious, I think, in our community because I know people love them, but striking scorpions, I just don't gel with them. Play wise, lore wise, they're really cool, but play wise, no. I'd rather have like my Lynx or the Shadow Spectres back. But I mean, in fairness, you guys are going to get a glimpse of the hamster now and my light ring. Hang on, I'm just rearranging. Can you
Yeah.
see in the back corner? That's 8,000 points of Eldar there.
Lovely.
So, yeah. And then behind my granny's clock that I've got from her house. And then that's my hobby table. So, yes, but that's 8,000 points of Eldar tucked in the corner there. So,
I do get your point about the striking scorpions because it always just seems to me that you've a bit strange that you've got a chainsword close combat unit with the laser heads, which is I always think the laser heads
the
are a little bit
Blasters.
predator, but then you've also got the Howling Banshees, which are probably more just superior in my opinion of Eldar. But
Well, I mean, I've got a banshee tattooed onto me, and I dressed up as a banshee for the UK Grand Narrative. So you know which one of the two close combat units I'm always going to pick. But
Harlequin.
Harlequin, yeah. But I think for me with banshees, they're now 2s to hit and 3-up anti-infantry. So they cut through infantry units so quickly. Like they can take on Terminators because they're AP -2 or AP -3. So yeah.
Yeah, just
Fuck off. No. The best Eldari unit is Rubert and Gilliman.
it's just always struck me as strange, and I've always liked. The names just escaped me. I thought of it a second ago. What's the flying ones?
Striking Score. No, Swooping Hawks.
Yes, I love them, and I always just feel like they could do a bit more with them.
Yeah, I mean, if you look at the current lists that some of the World Series winners are using, they're using 3 squads of of Swooping Hawks just to come up and down on objectives, which is a really effective way to get points in the game. But I prefer to play my Eldari in waves, so keep them back in strat reserve, keep them in deep strike, and then just push. So yeah.
Like my limited knowledge of Eldar, everything shoots ninja stars. That's how they got described. When I first got into Warhammer in 3rd edition, and the man's taking you around the shops like, yeah, this army does this, and here's the superhuman Terminators, and then he just pointed out the Eldar and was like, these guys shoot ninja blades out of guns, they're boring. And I was like, oh right. And that still sounds kind of cool, though. He went, no, it's not. And he walked off. What's up? Okay. All right, mate.
This is the thing, I would say that Eldar are a really diverse army because, excuse me, sorry, the wine is coming back up. I always say Eldar are a really diverse army because they obviously used to have a empire that was as big as the Empire of Man, and you can play 6 different types of army within the Elder Codex alone. I mean, you can run Wraiths, you can run Corsairs, who are essentially space pirates, you can run Harlequins, you can run Aspects, you can run Guardians, you can run Pure Psychers. The variety in that army is just incredible. So, yeah.
It is always been fancy. People use the word fancy, and I think that's a reasonable word for them because especially like you say, like the Harlequins, the Corsairs, the colour schemes are always
So
mental.
vibrant.
All the vibrancy, all the checks on them, and they're tiny little minis. And I think that's the other. What's the other army I'm thinking of? Is it Cruffhold Iandon? They're all dead. The yellow
the
one.
race. Yeah.
Yeah, I've always loved the idea of them, but again, it's just back in the day, painting yellow. Oh, fuck that.
I mean, that's why I stick to my colour scheme for everything. Everyone, when I was at the tournament at the weekend, they were like, "Oh, it's quite difficult to tell the units apart because you've not painted them as aspects." And I was like, "Can't be asked."
You can tell which one's which by what weapons they've got, mate. Don't you, dickhead?
Or the fact that one squad of them are screaming hormonal women, and one squad of them come uppy downy in deep strike, and one squad of them blow up vehicles and monsters, and that's basically my list. So yeah, I am actually quite tempted to do a Drukari list now that they've.
Dark Elder, they're Dark Elder. Everyone in the chat is saying Dark Elder. You can't say Drukari now because you're going to upset the chat and they're all going to go away and no one's going to watch
I
this.
mean, I refer to Eldari as Elder, but it's because my friend Jess, who I've already spoken about this evening, like she calls her Dark Elder Drukari, and she's been playing Dark Elder for donkey's years. But yeah, Dark Elder, I'm really tempted to do a Drukari, Dark Elder Corsairs combination list and have like proper space pirates. I think that would be a lot of fun. And I'm not going to lie, I am very, very much, because I played Custodies twice this weekend and I keep playing them over and over again. I'm very tempted to do a Femstodes army, like a proper female Custodies army, and paint it
that
like
would just blow people's fucking tiny little brains off. And I think you should definitely do it just to fuck with people.
You start getting more 20 meals because people are just like, fuck that, and walk off from you, so you'd win by default.
Yeah, because you can use the Stormcast Eternal heads and they fit perfectly into the Custodies' bodies. And then paint them like a rose gold. And then if I've got the bikes, just put like pink tassels on the handles.
Oh, you got pink
and like
nipple tassels.
Dent up the speeders and stuff like that, so it's women driving. So yeah.
And try and get tiny little decals of Little Miss Naughty.
Yeah.
Hello Kitty. Just make them all Hello Kitty fucking custodians. Hello Custodians. That's what they're called. That's your army.
But it was funny at the weekend because every opponent I played at the start, I said, if you want, you can have we had stickers of our logo made up, which was a female custodian. Our team name was Glory to the Femperor. And everyone was like, yeah, I'll take multiple stickers. And then I was like, at the end of our game, do you want, because my dice are dark pink and light pink. So I was like, do you want some dice? And every one of my competitors was like, hell yeah, I want these pink dice to play with. So yeah, I've just seen a comment, Jesus, where is this chat going? So I need to like scroll back and have a read of it. So yeah,
the chat's just going off, and it's just brilliant to see that people are just embracing in our Dark Elder
such a cool faction, and like particularly with like Lady Malice and Lilith as well. They're like the equivalent of Lycus and Jane Zard, like the amount of female and obviously the witches. Like the witches are just fucking badass.
They've always been cool, yeah. And I can't remember the name of the witch special character. Lilith Hesperax, is that it?
Yeah, Lilith, yeah.
Fucking hell, how am I remembering all of this shit? I don't even play them. There. But yeah, no, I think they've both sides actually of the same of them have always been quite cool looking. I think just for me, because I'll murder them painting them, and especially because of how pointy the Dark Elder are. I hated painting flayed ones because the little points got under my fucking fingernails. Dunk, you'll back me on that. The little claw-handed Necrons, them bastards. Like, it was like torturing yourself putting them together, and I know I would cause injuries doing Dark Elder to myself. So.
Yeah.
No,
see for somebody that doesn't like painting, though, right? I mean, Eldar, I would imagine, are a horde army, so why the Eldar if you don't like painting?
I mean, there's actually very few.
Uh-oh.
There we go. Sorry, my you spent too much time on Instagram today notification came up. So
that's a thing.
Yeah, I've set a limit to how long I can spend on Instagram every single day because if not, I spend my life just scrolling through. And you know, when you used to have to make reels in Instagram, I would just spend hours editing in Instagram. So
Oh, we don't do that. I just get some pictures and just go, fuck it, I'm playing this June.
yeah, I
So
did enjoy the selection of pictures that you pulled from my Instagram, which was just me going,
If you've got weird pictures on your Instagram, Dunk will find them to promote your episode. It's the rule
yeah.
of
I mean, I was very impressed with it. But yeah, so like to touch on what we were just talking about, so like Mills, so my friend Millie, Millie Paints, she's got a gorgeous Drakari army, but when she plays with it, she's like, these fucking spikes just go everywhere. And like they're like attached to her clothing as she like moves them round and things like that. But it's one of the most gorgeous armies I've ever seen, the way that she staged it all and everything like that. But yeah, witches are incredible. And when you read their backstory, like they're women who are fighting in the gladiatorial rings and stuff like that. Like that's hard. That's hard work. Like yes, they're in teeny tiny bikinis, but they're incredible, incredible women. So yeah.
yes, the sculpts have always been a bit strange. But I mean, Dunk commented there. Actually, he would said that the Eldar are a horde army. I
They're
don't
not.
think that's the case. Yeah, I was about to say, what is, as
No.
an Eldar player, what is your opinion on that?
I mean, most of my units are 5 or 10. And I mean, you look at a squad of 10 um, fire dragons with Fuegan, and that's a quarter of my army. That's 11 models.
Hmm.
So if we think back to the weekend, I had 2 squads of 10 Storm Guardians, which is 20 models. Squad of 10 Banshees with Jane Czar, that's another 11. A Eldrad and a Warlock, so we're currently sitting at 32. Then 10, 2 squads of 5 Warp Spiders and Lycus, so 43. Then 15 Fire Dragons and Fuegan.
yeah, that's not a horde army. We're like fucking 700 models at this point.
Just under 60 models for my army, which includes a tank. So I wouldn't say, you look at like marine armies, not marine armies, sorry, guard armies. My friend Tom runs a 220 model guard army.
That's just
Like,
showing off.
that's insane.
That
It's
is
counting Alderi the new techniques for going to sleep and drinking wine.
one Eldar. Ha ha ha.
One Eldar. I'm just catching up on chat. I'm very much enjoying Ryan talking about nipple tassels. Or what's it? I have pink marines for all of my depravity needs. Thanks, nipple hooks come as standard. That brought me a lot of joy.
Yeah, he is
So
a
the nipple hooks or just that message?
Ryan's probably got them as well. So you know.
Yeah.
Fresh, I would like to point out that you're watching me, so you go outside and touch some grass. Hello, Dad. How are you? Alex is here. Hello, Alex. Yeah, Fresh has got 305 model guard list.
See, I painted 40 Necron warriors, and that was enough for me. I don't want to do any more than one unit like that. So,
yeah.
Do you think then, on that basis, if someone's looking to get out of the typical intro Space Marine army, because let's face it, everyone who starts probably with a Space Marine at some point.
Yeah.
Would you recommend either Eldar or Dark Eldar as the next, as the step up and sort of saying, right, engage your mind differently when you're playing the next one, try something completely different?
Elder, Dark Elder, or Custodes, because all 3 of those have such minimal model counts on the table compared to other armies. Like, my deployment was so quick because I held back 2 units in Deep Strike and 1 in Strat Reserve. Another unit was in a tank. So I literally had like 1, 2, 3, 5 or 6 units on the board, and that was it.
Well, Death Guard like that as well, because like they've got a lot of characters, but they only have like Plague Marines. And
We have a
really,
lot of tanks and stuff though, and
yeah,
the
but you don't.
the
Nobody really uses
helicopter
them.
things that I keep
Yeah,
forgetting
but
the name of.
yeah, nobody really uses like all the main tanks. So like when I ran when I was playing a few weeks ago, like I took a war dog because I like them. People are like, why are you taking that? Because they don't benefit from any of the Death Guard like abilities. Yeah, but it looks cool. You know what I mean? Like,
And
and
actually, I
then you
think,
just
yeah, as you're saying it, Duncan, it looks cool. And this is something that last week's guest was saying, whose name again, I am having,
Shane.
oh, Shane, thank you. He was saying that again, like, if you're going to tournaments, have fun, actually pick from something that you want to play at with
Yeah.
rather than thinking, here's what's winning tournaments. I must go and play with that. And is that something that you would recommend as either entry level or even if someone's 20 tournaments in, just like, you know what, fuck it, just have a bit of laugh.
Always have fun. Like, there's nothing worse than coming up against someone who has immediately decided that they need to beat you by any means necessary. Like, this is what I always say is a hobby. Like, people just take it some people make careers from this, which is fantastic. But I'd say 90% of us have day jobs and all the rest of it. And this is what we spend our downtime doing. And it's great to be competitive, but when it's to the detriment of other people, then it's not worth it. And I think for me, when you take a list to a tournament, make it as repetitive as possible. Like, the fewer things you have to remember, the better. Take multiple squads of the same thing and you're golden. And then you can run it quickly. You learn those units inside and out. You learn what they can do against the other armies, and it's perfect. So I'm out of wine. I might run downstairs and grab the bottle quickly and then
Well,
come
you
back.
don't grab the bottle and we'll do a silly wee plug for orange brushes. Not that orange brushes are silly, because they're not, but
They're delightful. They're fucking brilliant. What are you talking about? We've both got a
even
green
though
one now. Hey, green tip.
we never practiced that, even though Casey's doing all his painting with a non-orange brush tonight, he does it every stream.
It's because I'm battering them. It's just a shitty old cheapo Citadel layer brush. I'm not being neat or tidy. So I don't want to waste the good brushes.
But no, listening to Shane last week, they had a really good tournament. Emmett, who was going down with his two big, massive orc things. Like, I think they're that big that he can't move them round the board because they're that big. He was going for the wooden spoon, and
Yeah,
Julie won. He won the wooden spoon, and he got the best opponent as well for the game. So well done to everybody in Donegal Dice Fingers.
I'm very quickly as well going to give a quick shout out to 41st Millennium Dave and Dyson Pigment, who I can't remember the name of the channel they run now, but they have actually bounded together and they are releasing a product called the Hobby Halo. Now, this is something I promised to plug them because I like the look of it. I'm probably going to buy one. They haven't sent me one. I just want to make that clear. This is not paid for. This is not promo in ad. I am the most awkward bastard when it comes to painting something, right? And like, look at this. I've got an old spice rack, blue tacked with all the bits sticking off of it. And they've just come out with a little thing that's a 3D print with loads of different prongs, and you just stick the things onto the prongs. And that looks like it will make my life a hell of a lot easier. And if it's going to make my life easier, I'll buy it. And if it's good, I'll tell you next time I'll see you all. If it's shit, I will also tell you that because I'm buying the bastard. They haven't sent me it to be nice. So they deserve no niceness if it is shit. And I hope they appreciate me saying that because it's us.
I fully expect to get sent one for free because I'm a tight cunt. So we're going to just jump off hobby chat just now because you're hydrating yourself, which is important. What wine are you drinking tonight?
I'm drinking chicken wine.
What?
Chicken
It's got
wine?
chickens on it.
Oh.
So it's La Ville Ferme. And we quite enjoy this. So this is I'm not normally a rosé drinker. Normally I don't like rosé. But we went to the Olympics last year or the year before last. I can't remember. What year are we in? Last year.
2030.
And We went to Marseille, and all I did was drink Côte de Provence the whole time I was there, which is a rosé, and now I quite like rosé. So before I was a red drinker, which is still my preference, but now I drink that, and that's my leftover bottle of wine from the weekend as well. I had 2 bottles of wine, and I'm just making my way through the remaining one, trying to make the weekend last the week. So yes.
Now, here's the question. I prefer red if I drink wine and we got it in. But what is the red of choice?
A Malbec.
Oh, no. It's Merlot
That's a
I
good
don't
one.
like.
It's a good one.
I like a Negra. No.
Yeah.
Yeah, Negra.
That's a good one.
Yeah, I
I
like
agree.
our next door neighbours are South African as well, and they brought a whole pile of wine back from South Africa, and the South African reds are really good as well, which surprised me. But yeah, I'm very much like an Argentine Malbec kind of girl. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know.
I
That's my limit for wine, just red. If it's red and it looks like Ribena and tastes like Ribena and I can piss on it, great.
Ooh.
Sam says
Well,
that Diablo wine is nice.
my wee wife brought me back some treats because she heard I was saying nice things about her, so she brought me back a whole
So
nut.
she bought you
She's,
batteries for your vibrator
yeah,
and
battery's
nuts
not a
for your
vibrator,
nuts.
and a whole nut because she wants my nuts.
Poor Geraldine.
Look at her, she was out hunting and she came back. I'm getting
Did you win
frisky
at
tonight.
badminton at least?
Did you win at badminton? He's asking. Huh? Did you win at badminton? I don't know how you knew you were playing badminton.
I was playing badminton today.
I know, and he knows. Everybody knows. You had it. You were live streaming yourself on Instagram earlier on.
But how does it know I was playing badminton at work?
I may have slipped out in the conversation.
You didn't know that.
You did because you text me saying that you had to go and buy gym stuff. Honestly, the perimenopause, man, it's full tilt in our household.
Dunk, you're going to get a smack upside the head at this rate.
Oh,
So.
it depends what head, and I'll fully embrace that.
Right, red wine.
Well, I couldn't stare, but I was good at that.
He's getting cussed out in the background, which is beautiful.
No, what she said is she couldn't serve, but she was good at badminton. But when it came back to her,
Yeah, but tell him in the shop.
There, then I could keep the baton going, then back and forth.
that hand technique is going to win you an Olympic medal. Not at
I'm going to
badminton.
go out and I'm going to say something. I like playing badminton.
You look like the sort of person that plays badminton.
I don't do it very often, but it is fun.
Right, but this isn't about Geraldine and her badminton and her hunting jacket that she's wearing.
She looks like she's off to shoot a deer with like a archery set.
I say she was away hunting elk, but deer also fits that narrative.
Fresh, that comment there is
Our
pretty
guest,
much.
Emma,
I watched that the other night, mate. I watched Hot Fuzz, and yeah, that is my limit of wine. We've got red and white.
So,
If you mix them together, you get rosé.
So, when you're enjoying your little rosé wine and you're feeling a wee munch later on, what will you be munching on later?
Good question. I don't know what I've got for dinner because my husband's sorting that out and he's out on the piss as well, so that's going to be fun. I think when I get like snacky, I obviously like a Galaxy Caramel, don't I? The pair of you know that.
Yeah.
And seeing as we had an extended talk about snacks last time, but I also quite like the toffee popcorn that you can get, and I also made a coffee cake today, so that's downstairs. So I might go and help myself to that later.
Coffee cake.
Coffee cake. Ooh.
Have you two never had coffee cake before, or have you had coffee cake and don't like it?
Coffee, really.
You know what it is? I think it's like when we used to eat Rebels, it was always that kind of Russian roulette of getting the coffee sweet, and that just put me off.
So I do like a sweet vanilla sponge with coffee essence, so it's not too overpowering. And then I do a mascarpone top with icing sugar with a little bit of coffee in it, so it's a very subtle coffee taste. I don't like a really cloying coffee cake. And I can't have nuts anymore either. So the walnuts are like out. So it's just pure, like gentle coffee. Let's put it that way.
Is that not just a dry tiramisu?
I mean, I could put loads of Tia Maria all over it and then it would actually be a tiramisu. So,
Yeah, I don't know what I'm talking about. My
and if I
son's
just
been
eat it with my hands, then technically there's ladies' fingers in there. So,
My son's just been walking around saying tiramisu for the last week. I don't know why, but coffee is just tiramisu.
tiramisu, before it became gluten free, is one of my favourite things in the world.
Oh, see, being
I miss
gluten
bread.
free.
I miss bread.
And I'm gluten free now. I'm trying to be as gluten free as possible because it's a fucking killer, man. But gluten free bread is it's like fucking. You have to go and rob someday as well, and it doesn't toast properly.
Warburton's do good gluten free, and that's the only place I know. Their like rolls and stuff are pretty banging for gluten free, but gluten free bread is just shit. I just avoid it at all costs.
It is shit. But it's dead expensive. But wee Perry Jerry bought me some gluten free bread yesterday, so I have to munch my way through that.
It is an offensive thing, gluten-free stuff. My sister's gluten-free, and I tried some of her stuff, and it was just no.
Yeah, that's why I bake all my own like cakes and stuff, because I can make them gluten free and make them half decent. You just add extra egg yolks in, and then it actually tastes like normal cake because it keeps it moist.
Get
So,
that
yeah.
as a real dunk. We can do food tips for the future. More yolks in your gluten-free cakes.
Yep.
Yeah, but sometimes I just take the hit though and just cope with a sore stomach and the potential of being sick straight after eating something just to taste the gluten.
Yeah, I had my first like non-gluten free food for a while at the weekend because it was just impossible to get it. And I was very happy that it was a sausage roll. I'm not gonna lie.
Well, was it a proper sausage roll or a vegan one?
No, proper flaky, well cooked. It sat in the like kiosk for half an hour kind of sausage roll. And we sat in front of the co-op on the campus of the University of Kent eating our sausage rolls, and I was like, this is my dream. I could die today and I'd be happy. I've played Warhammer all weekend, surrounded by lovely women, had some nice competitors, and I'm sat eating my first glutinous meal in fucking forever. I could die happy.
Here we go. Now we're going to actually teach people stuff because Rush is asking what gluten is. Gluten is the weird wheat glue that binds all the wheat stuff together. So when you eat it, it holds it, like makes it all stick. If you have non-gluten stuff and you bite it, it's like sawdust and it just all falls apart.
It's basically wheat jizz.
Yeah.
I mean, glue was also a reasonable thing, but yeah.
But it's more accurate to be like wheat jizz because I think it's the proteins that then bind it all together. So it's kind of like lactose is sugars and gluten's like the proteins, but specific to wheat. So yeah, I just can't have jizz in my face. So yeah.
For fuck's sake.
Not anymore.
This week's show is
And this is a person that's vetting our guests as well.
Put a trigger warning on it.
Both at the time, I was not a suitable person to vet your guests in any way, shape, or form.
Yeah, but we never listen to that. We don't listen to advice. That's why we brought you on.
No idea.
So, how is Lucy? How's she keeping these days? Because
she's doing really well. She has started a Catachan army and is loving it. She's got all like the vintage Catachans. She's done the traditional paint scheme on them. She's now up to 2,000 points. She's also been learning Kill Team. Obviously really busy at work. That's just the life of someone that's trained to be a paramedic. She's doing university. So yeah, she's good. She's doing a lot better than she was. So yeah, she's good. As far as I know, she's good. And I spoke to her earlier this week, so yeah.
Will you be doing your channel again more regular, do you think? Or is she still just...
She's still taking a break, and at the end of the day, she is more important than the channel, and I've always said that. Like, whenever anyone asks me, will she come back? I'm like, it doesn't matter if she does or she doesn't. Like,
Yeah.
Instagram is such a fallacy. Like, it's such a pretend construct. You know, like, her mental health is always going to be more important to me, and our friendship is always going to be more important to me, more importantly than the page. And you know, I'll add things from my page onto Sisters of Elder, but I'm never going to like force her to come back if she doesn't want to come back, and that's okay. Like, it's not our careers. It was only ever set up to be a fun hobby page, and then it rapidly spiraled. Like, you think Sisters of Elder is less than 18 months old, so think how fast it grew. I mean, eldarexarch is what, 6 months old, and that's like growing as well. I'm proud of both pages. Don't get me wrong; like, we put a lot of work into them, but as I said, it's a pretend construct at the end of the day. So
Yeah,
yeah,
as long as she's good, that's the main thing as well. But I mean, it is, as you said, like Instagram is such a toxic place as well. Like, I'm pretty sure AJ Mcor and that she probably gets a torrent of abuse
Alex,
as
yeah,
well. I mean,
yeah.
I would assume, like, even Leafy Decays and Tiz and One Dark and Wings, like, they probably all get a torrent of abuse as well. But it's standing up to these idiots as well. So
You can literally like scroll through the female stories or posts, and there will be at least one woman once a day making a comment about a comment that she's received. Like, it's just not necessary. And that's not to say that guys can't be horrible to guys too, because sometimes I look at the comments that guys put on other guys and I'm like, what the hell is wrong with you? Like, why do you think that's an acceptable thing to say? But yeah, it's more prevalent in the female community, I would say, rather than the male community. And we got a few of the Sisters of Elder and I shared them at the time, and thankfully those people then buggered off. But yeah, you just don't stand for it at the end of the day.
what do you prefer playing? Do you prefer playing Kill Team or 40k?
40k. I've only just started to learn to play 40k though. I quite enjoy playing Blood Bowl, and also like slightly outside the Warhammer realm. If I want a quick game that's quite a lot of fun, I quite enjoy playing Moonstone as well. Um, it's like a proper fantasy game where you have various different armies. You can play the game in under an hour, and you mine for moonstones. And the more moonstones you get, the more you win, basically. But there's also like a magic element, and the way that you play magic is like you have to bluff to the other person about what card you've got. So there's all these fun little quirks to Moonstone that I really enjoy. But yeah, 40k is definitely my main game. Then I'd say I enjoy Blood Bowl. Then Blood Bowl and Moonstone are probably tied for me, and then Kill Team. But that's only because I'm just starting to learn how to play Kill Team.
I like Kill Team because of the simplicity of it. You've
Yeah.
got 6 or 7 models, and I think it's 4 turns as well. So it is quicker. It's a wee bit of getting used to. I was speaking to Shane a few months ago, and I was thinking that maybe if we did like a 3,000 point game and then a 2,000 point game, and then just bring it down so it ended up like a combat patrol, and then you ended up in a Kill Team narrative. But he said that was too much effort, and then he's going to do a crusade. So we're going to start a crusade soon, which I've never done, which will be interesting.
Yeah, that'll be fun. All the rules are in the back. But bye, Sam. Thank you for coming.
So I've got a follow-on question, obviously, where you've mentioned Moonstone, because he was in there earlier tonight. I don't know if he's still about, but Josh, aka Mr. Free Spires, massive proponent of Kill Team, and you went up to Outrider Games a while ago, didn't you, for one of their competitions, if I remember rightly? How is travelling around the country going to all of these things doing for you?
It's good fun. It's expensive, I'm not going to lie, but I'm very fortunate that I have a good job and a husband that is more than happy to have me at the house. So, you know, bless him, he texted me at the weekend. He was like, quite miss you. I'm quite looking forward to you coming home, you know. So that was quite sweet. But like I went up in July to Outrider for their Women in Wargaming or day that we did. So it was myself and two other ladies that ran it. So we had a D&D night and a board game day. And it was fantastic. I think they had about 30 women in the end. And it was just nice to spend time with so many like different women from different backgrounds. And we had fantasy games and 40k games and Blood Bowl games, and people just dipped in and out of all of the different gaming systems. And I managed to play a couple of games of Magic the Gathering. Then we had the big D&D in the evening, watched a few games, the board game during the day. So yeah, like Outrider are a really big proponent of female wargamers, and they've got a huge female community up in Lichfield as well. They're a proper like safe space to go, and in the evening it was like a lock-in without being a lock-in. So we were open to men during the day, but in the evening it was just women, and like we got pizzas in, we had like the canned drinks and things like that. So it was just like having some porn star martinis and some pizza with the girls, you know, it's like a proper thing. It's really nice.
And see where a lot of the women that are in the community, but we've asked us a question. I think we've asked this question to every lassie that we've had on. But see, the general rule would be, are most of them in it because of their partners, or have a lot of them grown up with it, and then sorry, or have a lot of them like picked up when they were your age? What's the split on it?
I think like, so for me personally, mine was when I was a teenager. As I said earlier, I was in a wheelchair, couldn't do a lot, and my brother had literally just started 40k, so I picked it up at the same time as my brother, and then my dad started. Now my brother and dad have kept playing whilst I've been away from the hobby. But like I went to the UK Grand Narrative with my dad, my brother, all of the guys that I grew up with at Games Workshop Chelmsford, and their dads. So there were 14 of us that went to the UK Grand Narrative, and it was very much like kids in their late 20s, early 30s, and dads that are in their 60s, almost 70s, at this like Grand Narrative. So that was a lot of fun. But I would say like a lot of women that I know got into it during COVID because their partners were painting the models during COVID, and they decided it looked like a lot of fun. Others have got into it because their dads or even their mums have painted or played. So like one of the women I've interviewed, so Wing Shan, who runs Twisted Spire Gaming and is one half of Warp Miniatures, her mum went into labour when she was painting 40k models with her back in the 80s and 90s. So that's
How
her
long
like
was the labour? She went into labour in the 80s and 90s. That must have been one
I can't remember
long.
what year she said. I think it was the late 80s, but I could
Maybe
be
it
wrong.
started at like 10 to midnight in 1989 and finished at half midnight, half past
midnight.
in the morning in 1990. There you go. See, it could work.
Yeah, but a lot of people have got into it because of familial relationships rather than just walking past a Games Workshop and going, oh, you know. So I'd say that's about 80%. So, for example, my friend Sophie, she's from the Netherlands originally, and her partner Ollie, I grew up with at Games Workshop Chelmsford, and he went across to the Netherlands and basically dragged her to the Games Workshop there, and like got her to basically translate to the, I mean, everyone in the Netherlands speaks English anyway, but got her to translate to the store manager what he wanted and stuff like that. And then she picked it up through him, and now she semi plays on the competitive circuit but more enjoys the painting. So yeah, I'd say at least 90% of the women are through familial relationships like that, whether it's a partner or a family member getting into Warhammer, and then the other 10% are the ones that just walk past or read the books. For example, the Warhammer literature is not just limited to Warhammer fans, obviously, at Games Workshops, because it's now on Audible and stuff like that. a lot of women pick it up that way. It's recommended to them in the fantasy category. So yes.
Yeah.
So hello, Norse. I see you. I see your comment after I finish my monologue. So
what was going to ask now?
While you think of that, Dunk, I'll jump in. Obviously, you've mentioned your event that you organised. Are you planning on doing one next year?
yes, 21st of February.
Or to go to the same venue or somewhere else?
We're doing it at Warhammer World, and the Warhammer World events team are helping with this. So that's going to be a lot of fun. We've got 80 spaces at Warhammer World, and it's primarily for women and non-binary persons, but it's also open to allies. So if you would like to come along, you're obviously more than welcome. It's a free event. All I ask is that you just sign up at the link in my bio, just so I have a rough idea of how to pair people if they want to play, or make sure there's enough painting space. But yes, it's on Saturday, the 21st of February. That's my next event that I've got planned. Then I've also got quite an exciting thing coming up with they're going to probably shoot me for this, but Warhammer Pod, Dave Hammer 40k, and a couple of other people, where we're hoping to run a week-long event out of some hobby stores and through local clubs and people who play at home on their dining room tables, and run a narrative event. And then we are hoping to collect the stories from this, raise money for charity. So it's like a £10 contribution to, I think we're going to go for Calm as the charity, but don't quote me on that. It's all up in the air. And basically send out a narrative pack to whomever wants to play in whatever format they want, collect the stories from it, and then create a much wider story from that. So yeah, we're looking at doing that as a charity event at some point in May next year. But as I said, it's all up in the air at the moment. It's all in the early infancy stage. They'll all probably kill me for talking about it, but yes.
Nah, Dave and Dan are good eggs. We'll quite happily, closer to the time, get you all on where we can and help promo it and push it, because you're all good people and we like good people here on this show. And it's also nice that you're doing something that on that sort of scale for a good cause.
Yeah,
Because,
I mean, like all of our local hobby stores are happy to host the four of us. But what we want is also the grassroots community groups to be able to do it as well. Like, I think the thing for me with events is if you can't get to the event, you miss out. I want it to be so that people can play during that week, the Saturday to the following Sunday. So it's not just a 7-day event, it's technically a 9-day event.
Mhm.
And they can pick it up when they're ready to, whether that be at their own local hobby store, whether that be during their local gaming night, or whether that be on their dining room table, as I said, and feel like they're part of something wider.
That was always how, I don't know if you remember back in the day, they did, I've mentioned it before, the third War of Armageddon campaign. It was just as the internet was coming out, Games Workshop decided to do this worldwide thing, and it was very much play in store, back when you were still allowed to, but also, if you couldn't, you could play games with your mates and submit the results online.
Yeah.
And that just felt like you were part of a greater whole. And I feel like a lot of places don't do that anymore. And it's nice that, from listening to you, that's what you're trying to bring back in. It's just something that is purely at your own pace. You've got a week, have some fun, have some games. Let us know how you get on, and we'll determine the results at the end when we can get it all together.
Yeah, I think for me, growing up, like being 13 years old and disabled through until when I was 18 and off at the throwing skulls and like winning competitions and stuff, like my progression was solely because of my community, and my community were my safe space. And my entire teenage years was spent out of Games Workshop Chelmsford with that group of friends, and we used to go to the cinema together after, and we used to get pizza on a Friday night, and we used to spend so much time together and every
Okay.
Thursday and every Sunday was at Games Workshop Chelmsford, and
Mhm.
my mum used to drop me and my brother off, and that was it. And we had
Yep.
slightly different friendship groups at Games Workshop Chelmsford. Like I had the slightly older guys, he had the more teenagers, and my brother is still really like, he sees those people once every 2 weeks. I probably see them once every 3 months, but my brother sees them every 2 weeks, and they were such a pivotal part of my teenage years and my sense of self and who I am. And for me, that community piece is so important, because that fundamentally is what Warhammer is. Yes, it's a game, but it's a community at the end of the day. So yeah.
I feel
When
that's
did
something
that change? When did that change with Games Workshop or the Warhammer shops that you couldn't play in them anymore?
I want to say it's within the last couple of years at least, because it was always pretty much a hobby space.
Yeah.
My old local one at Croydon, you had a couple of like everything was along the walls. I would actually say the shop was no bigger than my kitchen is, right? Hang on a second, I'll show you. Right. So like about that big, maybe a little bit bigger, but everything was along the walls like it is now.
Mm.
But down the middle of it was just gaming tables, and in the section by the window, and it was always a weird place they put it. But do you remember the old iffy, greasy spoon plastic table and chairs? They had
Yeah.
one of those, like with just four chairs on it, the table, and that was like the painting station. So if you want to just go and jam, you can. If you want to go play games, you can. But I think it's more since they've developed the idea of sell. I want to say, push the single man stores around. There you go. As Tiz is saying, that they've reduced the staff down a lot as well. That didn't help, but they just really sort of ripped the heart out of it. And I think it's a good thing that a lot of community clubs are about, and a lot of other gaming spaces are around, where like I've mentioned it before, I've got a couple near me. You can go there, they don't charge you for tables. Just favour, buy a drink when you're here, buy a snack while you're here. Yeah, it just really I had great times in my local one, and unfortunately I've lost contact with everyone that I spoke to back then. But you'd go out, you'd play games with them, and then sometimes you see them on a night out in the pub, and you just go chat to them.
Is that because you're middle class?
Nice to have different groups.
Is that because you're middle class now?
No, it's because you know what? No, I grew up. I lost contact with a lot of them donkeys ago, because I was probably a little bit older than most of the store brats. I think the shop, the guys in the shop used to call us. So when they all started hitting university ages and started fucking off all over the place, I was like,
I'll be back.
all right, I'm not hanging around with the toddlers now. I'm not hanging around with them anymore. So fuck it. But even there you go. I'm saying I miss gaming in GW stores. Used to do it with my friends in my teens. It was such a big 90s, early 2000s thing.
Yeah.
And I don't know if Chelmsford was the same with the painting table in the window.
Yes, it was. Well, not quite the window. Ours was actually at the back of the store, which is obviously terrible for lighting. But we had the dioramas and the glass cases in the window. Yeah. And then we had 4 central tables, 2 at the back. The Chancellor store was pretty big, actually. And then we had painting table in between those banks of tables towards the back. But funnily enough, they had a storeroom at the back that you then had to walk through to go upstairs, because the toilet was upstairs, and then they had another set of 6 tables upstairs. So it was always funny, because you'd see all the stock like piled up against the back walls and stuff like that, and you'd have to walk through the stock room to go to the rest of the things. Yeah. But yeah, I mean, I'm really lucky these days, because obviously I have the cryptic cabin, which is 20 minutes from where I live, and those guys are great. I mean, it's a proper, like, it's got that like mum and pop kind of feel to it. I mean, it's 3 guys that run it, and Charlie, who's the partner of one of them, she just sort of wrangles all of them, which is really funny. But I love going there, and I had some really, really shitty times back end of last year, early this year, and like, I would go there and it would be quiet, and I'd sit upstairs and paint, and I hate painting, and I'd be able to talk to them. And I'm not going to lie, I burst into tears a few times when I was there, and the staff gave me a really nice hug. And, I always go in there, and it's like I had a one woman campaign for espresso martini cans at the Cryptic Cabin, and I won that battle. I think they were always intending on it, but I'm taking it as a personal victory, and can always get a Dr. Pepper, and there's always a friendly, smiling face there. And
Yeah.
I'm really lucky that a lot of my friendship group are from there. And my local competitive team, Life Begins at 40k, run out of there as well. And yeah, it gives me that reminiscence of an old Games Workshop without actually being a Games Workshop,
Yeah.
So
It's like
behind
war.
every
Cheers for Warhammer, even. Before I pass on to Dunk with one thing, do you remember back in the day when you were in the store and the first time they allowed you in the toilet, you were like, holy shit, I don't have to go to McDonald's. I'm privileged. It felt like such a massive thing, didn't it? Like you were allowed to see behind the scenes.
I remember they had a calendar up on the wall of releases, and they let me put my birthday on the calendar.
Oh, you were
And that was the
definitely
point
privileged.
that I knew I was a regular at Games Workshop, was when my birthday went on the release calendar.
You made it.
So behind every hobbyist there's a hobby widow. So what hobbies does your husband do?
Oh, good question. Drinking. Hence
I
why he's
say
out
he's
this
on the
evening.
tonight, so
In fairness, my husband and I, we're very much opposites attract, is what I would say. So I'm a proper nerd, whereas he's very like mainstream. But we both work incredibly corporate jobs. Like the M at work is not the hobby M that you see on the internet. She's very, I've girl bossed too hard and got to a position of semi-authority, and sometimes I'm like, why am I here? But my husband is also the same. So we're very career-driven people. But his hobbies, we have 7 fish tanks downstairs.
Wow.
Yeah, that's his, other than drinking, that's his principal hobby. And then we love to travel. That's what we do together as a couple. We're like, I'm sure you guys have seen from my Instagram stories, I'm always off somewhere doing something. And normally we go away together. So it's obviously we're going to telling the world when I'm not in my house, which is not the most intelligent idea, but hey ho.
Where's the
We're
weirdest place that you've bought Warhammer or a hobby thing then? Where's the least expected place that you would find it?
it means in the
Utah.
world, not just like down the high street and you've seen it in a random shop. But Ann Summers.
Utah, next to a Church of the Latter-day Saints.
The Emperor
Even
Protects?
Mormons need their
And they
sticks.
had a
Okay, well, guys.
sisters Gothic display in the window,
Brilliant.
literally next door to the temple, the big temple in Salt Lake City.
They still got a roll dice like anyone else.
Yeah, I think that's the most out there weird experience, being next to an organized religion versus like, for want of a better term, like fake organized religion in terms of like sisters, So that was very much a juxtaposition of a Gothic temple next to a Gothic temple. And just like, we dressed quite conservatively when we were in Salt Lake, because you obviously want to respect where you've gone to. And being confused for Mormons outside essentially a Games Workshop was quite an experience, I would say. So yeah.
What is, on the travel, I'm going to jump in what you said. What is the one place in the world you've always wanted to go to? And the other side of the coin, what is the one place you've been to that you regretted?
So I've always wanted to go to Sri Lanka. So I think you two know I've got a big elephant tattoo on the back of my leg.
Yep.
Yeah. And obviously I'm a massive tea drinker, rightly or wrongly, with the colonial implications of that. But
Typical Brit abroad, you don't ride an elephant and drink some PG tips. Fuck off.
I don't want to ride an elephant. I want to see an elephant, and I want to go to a women's commune and support women in their job, essentially. Peterborough. The worst place I've ever been. See, everywhere's got good bits and bad bits. So, like, for example, Bulgaria. I love Bulgaria, but I hated going to Sofia because Sofia is it's the capital city, but I would say there's not a lot there. Whereas wider Bulgaria has got some incredible places. Same with like France, there's some gorgeous places. And then you have some right shithole places in Paris. Like I've stayed in some right dodgy places in Paris. There's always that having your wits about you kind of place. I think the funniest thing that's ever happened to me when I was abroad, it's not funny, but it is funny. I broke my ankle on my honeymoon because I fell off a curb in Birmingham, Alabama, because we were on a big road trip and we just stopped there for a night. And I fell off this curb and ended up in ER in Alabama. And all of the ER nurses were like, why the fuck are you in Alabama for your honeymoon? And like, even the nursing staff were like, why are you here? And we were literally like, start of the civil rights movement. It's the Iron City, loads of culture in Birmingham, Alabama.
All the naval history.
It is like a stopping place. But they told me that I'd sprained my ankle, not broken it. So my husband then made me do the 3-mile walk on crutches of the civil rights walk. He has never, in the 6 years that we've been married, heard the end of this story. I'm like, you made me walk 3 miles on crutches. I was crying, and he was like, we're almost done. Just keep going. We've said we've come all this way. We might as well do it properly. I'm like, I just want to go home.
He had a point. You'd been gutted if you didn't do it, wouldn't you?
I mean, so we love to pick off the American national parks as well. That's a big part of what we like to do. We like going hiking and stuff. So on our honeymoon, we didn't actually manage to get to Arkansas's hot springs because of my broken ankle, because I was in so much pain. He's never let me hear the end of it. He's like, we missed out on doing hot springs because you fell off a curb. And the reason I fell off a curb, everyone's always like, were you pissed? Because everyone knows me. And I'm like, no, I got impatient because Reese was talking to the valet. Sorry, Mr. M was talking. I've just slipped up and told everyone his name. Mr. M was too busy talking to the valet. And I got impatient, so started unloading the car. And the curb was like a good 8 inches. And then it had the gully underneath it, like American things do. So literally slipped off and did that with my ankle.
Oh.
My dad did something like that. We went to Florida years and years and years ago, and he did something similar. Fucked his ankle up massively, and he was limping everywhere. And we're doing all these theme parks and different places. And because he's limping around, everyone's like, Mister, do you want a wheelchair? So he got in it, and he got the arse that he was getting wheelchaired about. He's like, I'm better walking, but I need someone to sit in the wheelchair so I can push him. Right? And I was like, okay, so I'm the youngest. It's going to have to be me, innit? So he's limping around pushing this kid in the wheelchair, and everyone's like, oh my God, that family's so brave. It was the most embarrassing fucking week of my life while he was limping around. But we got loads of free shit at the same time, so it was like, this is great, but there's actual people in wheelchairs over there getting the same free shit. It's like, just don't fucking say anything.
Yeah. So on this same honeymoon, so I did it 4 days before the end, and like went round Graceland in Memphis on crutches, Sun Studios on crutches. But it got to like the penultimate day, and I was like, I'm knackered. Like, I can't do this anymore. Everything hurts, etc., etc. So we decided to go to Memphis Zoo and get me one of those ride-on buggy things that you can get from the little scooters. And when it reversed, it made a beeping sound. But it was meant to be completely wheelchair accessible. I can tell you now, Memphis Zoo is not completely wheelchair accessible, particularly the bat enclosure where they've offset the doors. And when you get stuck between the two doors and are trying to reverse in something that's going beep, 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 my husband and a random American man had to lift me and this fucking scooter to get me round a corner. I drove off and hid in a corner and cried in the bat enclosure. I was so embarrassed.
Well, this is what happens when you get impatient. I mean, you've only got yourself to blame, really,
I
technically.
know. Thankfully, in the last 6 years, I've learned a modicum of patience, and I mean a modicum, like a tiny amount of patience. So
Oh, I don't think Geraldine has any patience when it comes to me, to be honest with you. Like,
I'm not surprised.
listen,
I don't
I
even
have
have
to
any
keep.
patience for you, and I'm not married to you. So
Well, that can be arranged. I can make that happen. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm a bigamist.
And look, just because she went to the Mormons doesn't mean that she actually is one.
yeah,
Well, you know what I say, when in Rome. You know what I mean?
when in Salt Lake City, yeah.
When in Salt Lake City, go to the Warhammer shop next to the giant temple.
But what else? What else would you rather do? Yeah, folks, I think it's probably a good time to end this amazing podcast tonight. Ems, we've absolutely loved seeing you slowly getting more and more drunk as the
Yeah,
podcast has
I'm
went
pretty
on.
merry, I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, I mean, next you'll be telling us your husband's last name, your address, your mother's date of birth. And this is a serious point, folks. See when you see these stupid things online, like, oh, name me your last 10 pets. Don't do that shit, man, because people are just
No.
trolling you for your personal information. I had to reach out to somebody today and going, why did you put your 3 ex-girlfriends up? Like, that's just people looking for either shit on you or to fucking steal your identity.
It's like
So
this
just be
live
wary.
location on Instagram, isn't it? It drives me up the wall. So, you know, I've talked quite openly about it on my page, but I was stalked for a while as a teenager, and you know, Instagram putting up this live location, and I look at it and I'm like, mate, you need to turn that off. The amount of people that have got it on, and it's literally they're pinging their home at 11 o'clock at night, is ridiculous. So, yeah, completely understand.
Yeah, but you showed that stalker who was the boss by marrying them 6 years ago. You know what I mean? You can't beat them, join them.
I see, I've got one of the good ones. I think he's home. I've just heard him come clattering in, but
All
I've
this
actually got one of
good
the good
time to get
ones.
the kebab set he's probably bought in because that's all he could be asked to get.
So,
Well, in
Ems,
fairness,
here,
knowing Reese will get Honest Burger. So, see, I've just said his name again, but yeah.
that's all right. As long as you remember it when you're in bed later on, that's the main thing. So, Ems, is there anybody you want to give a shout out to, or just for folk that don't know you, where they can find you, apart from your live location, because we don't want you stopped?
So I am eldarexarch on Instagram, Twitch, and YouTube. Obviously, the Women in War gaming series have just gone out today, so give that a bit of love. There's 2 episodes a week for 10 weeks. There's a little bit of a break for Christmas. But yeah, there's some incredible women on there, both micro accounts and major accounts. So well worth a watch. Sisters of Elder, obviously, as well, is our original one. And yeah, that's where you'll find me. In terms of shout outs, there's so many people that I could shout out. So there's a highlight on my page for Women in Warhammer. Go and just follow every single woman in Warhammer on that. They all deserve it. They're all fucking incredible. Yeah,
And don't
I love
send,
the
don't send
guys
dick pics, guys, unless they ask you to, because no matter
that,
how much you think it is, dicks aren't attractive. I've looked at
no,
Even if
mine.
they ask you,
really
don't say.
ugly.
They're
I
Even
not
if they
good
ask you,
looking.
thankfully,
don't say.
I thankfully haven't had any, but I know quite a few women who have had them, and it's just necessary.
I haven't
Yeah.
had any, and I'm livid.
I feel as though I should get one. But see, sending a dick pic to yourself, does that count?
No.
Well, I
Okay.
think we've lost. I think we've lost him. I think she's reached her Instagram quota for the week. Casey,
Yep.
any last words of wisdom from yourself today?
I've plugged what I wanted to plug. I think just we've got no new guests. Go there they go. She's fucked off.
Yeah.
No new guests. November continues next week with Rob.
Yeah, next Tuesday.
Tuesday. Yes, that's the thing. It is next Tuesday night, 7:30, same time. So just be aware of that. It is a different date because of Rob's availability. We do like Rob though, so we were happy to move the times for him. And then we need to figure out what we're doing on the wind down to Christmas and get some other people on.
Yep. Folks, remember orange brushes for all your orange brush needs. Thanks for joining us again. It's good to see you in the chat. Enjoy your burger or whatever you're going to be feasting on tonight. And make sure you stay hydrated. Burger. There's been a murder in a burger. And we'll see you. I swear to God, man, I'm going to come and hunt you down in Peterborough. Right, I'll speak to you in 5, mate, right? Here's what I'm, folks.
Good luck, guys.
Love you, bye.